right, guys. Good afternoon once again. All right, guys. Yeah, I know. It's kind of a webinar. To be honest, more than a webinar, it's a pep talk with the same intent of having a very informal conversation with you all. Yeah. So today, you know, a sort of a topic that we wanted to talk about was uh, what exactly should you be, the strategies that you should be deploying to make yourself more employable. Lately, things have changed. Most of you, not me, most of you are termed largely as Gen Z. Okay. Now, I don't know what's going to come up after Gen Z, Z plus or Z plus plus, whatever. But there's a very distinctively different way of thinking a Gen Z, person thinks, and the expectations of the airlines, of the organizations, they're also changing. Okay, they are rapidly changing. The time frame over which the expectations are changing are reducing to just 6 months, 1 year. So how should you be preparing yourself? You could be a CPL holder, you could be someone who's done a type rating. So we'll just dwell a bit deeper into it. I'll do the initial part of talking, and subsequently, once I'm done, please feel free. Think of it as if you're talking to a friend of yours. Okay, it's an informal conversation. If there is anything, please just speak your heart out. All right, so basically, like I said, welcome you all once again to Airship Aviation. And at the end of our this webinar thing, I'll just make a very small trip through our website and try and tell you what Airship is about. We are mainly into aviation related services of ground training and training for type rating and the airline recruitment uh, vacancies which keep coming up, be it Express, be it Indigo. And mainly we are a online portal kind of company. Instead of one having to come to Ramphal Chowk from different parts of the country and spending extra bit of thousands of rupees, one need not do all that. You can just simply stay at your home and do the same preparation. So I'll run you through a website at the end of it. Okay, so guys, we all know that the Indian aviation job market is highly competitive right now. Okay, so that is something which you are all aware of. Many of you would have completed your CPL or typewriting, but the problem is getting into the cockpit professionally. It's a whole different journey. It's a whole new journey. So today we'll just try and equip you, with what are the practical strategies that are working right now in the Indian market. So let's begin by understanding the current aviation job scene in India. So what is happening right now is like Rumel and Krishna and probably few others. Like you all mentioned that you had cleared the Indigo's JFO written examination. Subsequently, you cleared the ADAPT, and then there has been a lull. So this was last year in September, October. Then there has been a lull. Similarly, there was a vacancy. Uh, like we have Aryan here, he mentioned there was a vacancy which came up mid of December, end of December for Express. So like he had appeared for it, he cleared it. Now after that, Express has also, in a way, brought in that sort of a lull. So after that particular result of the written examination, Express has really not called up anyone. So now why is this happening? So there was this small pep talk which we covered last time. This is primarily happening because of many reasons. The prominent ones being the introduction of the new FTTL, which is going to come in from the 1st of July. Okay. Now, most of you are not into any airline right now. So I don't think you understand the gravity of the effect that this new DTL is going to have on the organization. Not dwelling deeper into what exactly the FDTL brings on the table, what are the significant changes, because FDTL revisions, they keep happening. Okay, but this particular revision is not just a revision, it's a new FDTL scheme altogether. Now, what is a FDTL? I hope you all know what is a FDTL. I hope there's nobody here who is not sure. If there is someone who's not sure of what a FDTL is, please don't shy. Let me know. I'll explain. Okay, it's a flight duty and time limitation. As a pilot, primarily when you are working, be it as an instructor in a flying school or as an airline pilot, you are generally governed by a certain set of rules that you can only fly as many hours in a week, in 15 days, in a month, and cumulatively in a particular year. After every flight, if it's a domestic flight, if it's a long haul flight, it's an ultra long haul flight, this is the minimum rest that you should be getting. So this is all that FDTL is known. So from 1st July, what's happening practically is the rest period which a pilot would be getting is significantly going to be enhanced. Okay, that is one. Second, the number of night flights that a pilot can do. Subsequent night flights. Night flights are not, let's say, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock departure. The departure which happen in the window of circadian low. The the red eye flights, as they are informally called. Something, those departures and arrivals and flights which are happening after midnight until 5 o'clock, 5:30 in the morning. So that is a peak time where your body technically is in a, or ideally should be in a state of sleep, but you're keeping it awake. So those kind of flights, how many of them can you do subsequently? So there are significant changes in the new FDTL, which is going to be introduced from the 1st of July. Now, the effect of this FDTL is largely all the organizations, Indigo, Air India, Akasa, mainly, and Spicer, they all would be needing more number of pilots. Okay, so now imagine if me, I until today, I mean until 30th of June, if my organization wants to utilize me for, let's say, three subsequent red eye flights, they can do it. Okay, there's nothing stopping them from not doing it. There's nothing stopping them from doing it. They can do it, and we have been doing it. There was a time we used to do it. People are still doing it, but from 1st July, there is going to be a particular set of rule that you can only do it uh, twice. If you end up doing it twice, then it is mandatory on the airline to give a minimum set of rest to that pilot. So now what happens is the utility of that pilot for that organization has technically gone down. Even if the airline wants to utilize me for more number of flights in that same number of days, they cannot do it. So, but the number of flights are the same. So if let's say Indigo operates 2,000 flights in a day, then the 2,000 flights in a day, they're not going to bring it down. That number is going to stay the same. So to man those 2,000 number flights per day, if the utility of your pilots is going down, then how do you think are they going to run the show? They have no option but to hire new pilots, more pilots. Same is the case with Air India and with all the airlines. So now you all would be thinking, if more pilots is what these all airlines need, then why have they not continued with their vacancies? Like some of you after Adapt have been waiting for them to call or express. So that is one element of it, which is, which would actually govern the requirement for more pilots. There are other things as well. Uh, until for a very long time, both Boeing and Airbus, they were really stuck up with a lot of orders. They were unable to fulfill their requirement, the airline requirement by giving the aircraft on time. It was more prominent in the case of Boeing, and for which a very major customer is Air India Express and Akasa. So this is something which I covered last time, that Air India Express is not able to get the aircrafts at a speed at which they had initially envisioned. Okay, they had envisioned, let's say, two or three or four aircrafts per month. They are not able to get them. They're probably getting one aircraft every 2 months. So now with that, there is no point going on an exercise of recruitment at a speed which is, see, because they know, if you think that the airlines are not aware that there are thousands of pilots type rated, forget CPL holders, type rated, who are waiting in the market, they are absolutely aware. They know that, and they have the bandwidth of coming out with vacancies every week and still able to train people. They have the bandwidth. They are not doing it purely because until 2 months back, they were very hopeful that the Delhi High Court, so the airlines had actually gone to the Delhi High Court against this new FDTL scheme. So until 2 months back, they were hopeful that the Honorable Delhi High Court may just pass an order which would delay the implementation of this DTL. Had that happened, they would have really not been in a need of of more number of pilots. But that did not happen. Second is the frequency of aircrafts per month which they had envisioned is not happening. So that is why they have deliberately delayed their recruitment plans. And third is the current geopolitical situation. There are a lot of flights which have been cancelled. The whole Middle East is disturbed. Uh, there's this trade war which is happening right now. So there were factors because of which they had slowed down the recruitment, but that era is largely behind us. Okay, that time is largely behind us. Today, uh, I can tell you, I think I don't know if you guys had read this news around 2 days back or 3 days back that all the grounded aircrafts of Indigo, the Pratt and Whitney engines, they have now started to receive them back into the fleet. They are deploying them online, and they are expected to finish this whole exercise by the end of 2025 or latest by the first quarter of 2026. That is until March 2026, which means so that is around 80 to 90 aircrafts. So imagine 80 to 90 aircrafts, which are at the moment not a part of Indigo's fleet, would be a part of Indigo only in the next 6 to 7 months. And on an average, on an A320, you need around 5 to 6 sets of crew, okay, to man an aircraft. I mean, the way it's calculated is different, but ballpark figure is 5 to 6 sets of crew. So means five captains and five first officers, 5 sets. So for 80, if you multiply it by five, that means 400 pilots. So now it is not as simple as saying that, okay, they need 400 pilots more. No, they have their number of pilots. The problem now which mainly Indigo, faces at this stage is they would have wanted to squeeze in their own pilots, which are there on the rolls right now. But they will not be able to do it because of the DTL, which is coming from the 1st of July. So now they are actually forced to be in a situation where they have no option but to call for more recruitment. Okay. So now this recruitment may not be a monthly affair. I'm not trying to suggest that they'll come up with any vacancy at all. I'm not saying that. Or if they come, they'll be coming out with a vacancy every month. But the long story short is vacancies are around the corner. Okay, they are just around the corner. It's just a matter of when one guy starts and the other airline will also jump in the in the so if Indigo comes up with a vacancy, there is no way that Indigo is not Air India is not going to come up with a vacancy. So you are at the cusp of another, I would say, another period. The period could last for 6 months, 8 months, because these recruitment months, no, they are very cyclical in nature. They're like a wave. It's not always on a constant increment. It's like a wave. There will be dips, and then it'll again start all together. So the last 6 to 7 months had been a dip, but now you are at the cusp. It may just start. So in the event it starts, how do you prepare yourself? First of all, uh, please understand that all the airlines like Air India, Indigo, Akasa, they are hiring. So the competition is. So if there are 50 vacancies, you'll have 5,000 applicants. Then, you know, there are thousands of CPL holders. Yeah. There are thousands of CPL holders. Then there would be 500 type rated holders, but only a few seats. So you are in a situation where you are going to need more than just a license. Okay. So you need to have some element to you which differentiates you from others. So what is it? You need a market readiness. Now, like when I say Gen Z, nowadays airlines, they are not just looking for a CPL holder or a type rating. Type rating alone used to be something very big about 3 to 4 years back. Nowadays, even type rating itself, CPL plus type rating also is not sufficient. Okay. So what are the airlines' preferences? So from from our experience in airship, uh, since the last 1 to 1.5 years, what we have seen is airlines, they want disciplined, CRM ready, SOP compliant candidates. Okay, they are not just looking for pilots who can fly. So that is what I mean to say. If you're a CPL holder or a type rating 320, 737 from wherever you have done, may just not be enough. So you need to have these extra skills, CRM ready. Now, one may ask you, what is a CRM? Okay, SOP compliant. Are you someone who loves to live life on the edge, or are you generally someone who is a bit disciplined in your personal life as well? Okay, SOP compliant candidates, because with every passing year, the machines are getting more and more automated. The yesteryear's aircrafts and machines were very raw. There was a lot of pilot input which was required. Automation was not really developed. Nowadays, most of us use AirPods and iPhones and iPads and the very tech savvy devices, GPS devices, this and that. So you know what I'm trying to say. Things are only getting AI. AI has become a part of our lives now. So things are getting very moving very fast in terms of technology. And when technology develops, human intervention is less. So the airlines, they don't really are, they're not really looking at the skill set that you have. You may be a pilot who does beautiful landings. You may be a pilot who, uh, you know, is let's say, uh, who's turning the aircraft, who's carrying out the all the maneuvers flawlessly. That is not what the airlines look for only in today's scenario. What they want is how calm and composed you are. Are you someone who is a rebel, or are you someone who is a SOP compliant guy? If someone tells you that these are the guidelines, this is how the work has to be done. Are you someone who's finicky, who's always having a problem with procedures? Or are you someone who's generally understanding and appreciative of the fact that SOPs are the way forward? Are you someone uh, you know who's having a very different thought process, which will lead to a CRM issue in the cockpit? Or are you someone who knows how to balance it out uh, in the cockpit in order to avoid CRM issues? So there are different traits. These stages of adapt in Indigo, general GD, discussion, the interview, these stages are precisely to test these things. In GD, what they are effectively checking you on is one, your CRM. Are you a dominating guy? Are you the only one who's talking in that GD? Or are you also a patient listener? Are you also respectful of your other team members who are there, who are trying to share their point of view? Or are you the only one? So GD, there is a purpose of each stage. So tomorrow, I hope you guys get called, sooner than later, Romel and Krishna and maybe some others who are waiting. That GD, you need to speak also, because you cannot afford to just be quiet. If you talk too much, you are highlighting, a trait of being dominating. If you're not talking at all, you're highlighting a trait that probably you're too underconfident or you're just an introvert. They don't want an introvert in the cockpit. Similarly, they don't want a overtly talking personality as well. Okay, so they are trying to judge you, see whether how reasonably balanced you are. So that's why airlines want disciplined, CRM ready, SOP compliant candidates. Okay, not just pilots who can fly. Then second, your performance in sim checks, your behavior during group tasks like the one that I mentioned for general discussion, and your attitude in interviews, they matter as much as your flight hours. So, like I said, you have done 200 hours, you have a CPL, you have done type rating, that means nothing if you're carrying a wrong attitude in the interview. Okay, if you're either overly apologetic, if you've gone to the interview and you just don't know any answer to any question, if the way you are sitting exhibits a sense of false bravado, that is not what that psychologist who's sitting in that interview, because that psychologist's job is to study your sitting pattern. How are you sitting? How are you walking? The way you walked into the room. Did you just simply sit on the chair, or did you bother to ask? Did you wait for the interviewer to tell you, okay, Alex, please take a seat? And then only Alex pulled the chair and sat on the chair, or did just Alex simply walk in and sit on the seat? Small petty things. So these are all non-technical matters. They haven't even started the interview. I mean, they have not even started asking you anything, but they have already, they can already see that you have you already started exhibiting your personality to them. Uh, these are the things which matter. Then the low cost carriers like Indigo, Akasa, SpiceJet, generally what they look for is they want you to be absolutely loyal with the SOPs. The SOP loyalty and the cockpit discipline, that is primarily because it's the younger lot which is coming uh, into the cockpit. They have thousands of flights per week. They really cannot afford to have any misadventure in terms of a CRM issue or a violation of SOP because it can be very costly. So they are hell-bent on interrogating and on trying to find out in a candidate that how SOP compliant you're going to be, how rigid are you going to be, how rebellious are you in your nature. They are really not interested whether, so that's why, the Indigo, in fact, not just Indigo now, even Air India, they will let go of your minor errors in sim checks, but they would generally not let go of your attitudinal issues. Okay. So when you come out of the interview, you may find it very awkward. कि अरे यार ऐसा तो कुछ बोला ही नहीं था. My sim check went fantastic, but interview I answered all the technical questions of the ground instructor and the senior captain who was sitting, but the psychologist he wasn't too convinced. Yeah, I could feel that he was not convinced with the way I was answering and all because that psychologist has seen something in you. He has seen a personality trait in you which is not what Indigo wants. So, despite having a flawless technical interview, an absolutely brilliant sim performance, you chances are they will still not hire you. Okay, so the non-technical part, the aspects have become very important in today's date. Okay, so then moving on, how do you stay current and relevant? Staying current is one, and staying relevant is another part. So, there's a big mistake. A lot of pilots they lose touch after they have done their typewriting or the CPL. Why? I think one of us here on the meeting mentioned, no, because that I'm waiting for the vacancies to come in, and I think one of our friend who wanted to join instructor, fair enough, that's a brilliant idea. That I'll wait for the market to open up, the vacancies to come up, and then maybe I'll take a call whether should I be going for a type rating or not. As long as you decide to uh, stay connected to the aviation environment in some or the other way, then this is fine. In your case, who was that? Yeah, who wanted to do
Yeah, that
instructional
was
thing?
me.
Ayan. Okay, yeah. So thanks, Ayan. So like Ayan, you said that I plan to stay in touch by in the form of preferably joining as an instructor somewhere. As
Yeah,
long as you're doing this, it's absolutely fine. There are many kids, there are many candidates who have no plans. They don't talk about being an instructor. They don't talk about you know, and not just instructor. Let's say now, though, in all the cities you have these CPL classes, online, offline, and all. But until a few years back, Delhi's Ramphal Chowk was like the aviation capital. Everyone used to, come into Ramphal Shock, stay there on rent for about 2, 3 months, attend the classes, CPL subjects, RT, and then go back. So until that time, there were many in all these classes. What do you think? All these instructors that you see, uh, are they all flying with airlines? There are so many of them who are just waiting for their own shot at getting a job. But in the meanwhile, they are diligent enough to be associated with some ground school or flying school and staying in that environment. So it's very important that in a lull period, you don't just simply exit, this whole thing. Please be connected. Conduct a class. Go and walk into any institute. Ask them, is there any subject that you can take, let's say physical classes, online classes. Even in airship, we sometimes do have requirements of instructors to carry out online classes for CPL subjects, for ATPL subjects. Someone who's 320 type rated, maybe for 320, uh, you know, pre-type rating courses, GD classes. So these requirements, they keep coming up. So it's very important that you stay in touch. Apart from that, especially for the guys who have done the type rating, uh, if you've done your type rating and you do not keep it current, see, guys, if you have decided to enter into CPL, no, one thing should have already been known that you need to be mentally ready to burn down that money like water. You cannot say that I've spent 40 lakhs, 50 lakhs on CPL. Now that's it. Now I'm just going to wait for the vacancies to come up and then I will do this, then I will do that. Unfortunately, I'm not encouraging. I'm saying it's a very unfortunate part of our field that the money has to be spent, and all the more for a guy who's done type rating. If you've done a type rating for 320 and 737, or any other aircraft, ATR, Q400, whatever, it now is not just a headache, it is actually your responsibility to keep that rating current. An airline may insist for a current rating, may not insist for a current rating. That should not govern your decision. Okay, so my suggestion would be, in current scenario where even type-rated pilots, the number of type-rated pilots is not coming down, it is only increasing. It is increasing in hundreds every few months. If you want to have that edge, you need to have your ratings current. And unfortunately, once you're type rated, it's a 6 monthly affair. Every 6 months you need to keep your license current, and every 12 months you need to keep your IR current. So the guys who have done your 320 type rating, in an unfortunate event that the current market lull continues for another few more months, please keep your type ratings current. Okay, whether you choose to do it from FSTC or Spain or Vietnam or Jordan, wherever, that's your call, your decision, but please do it. If you don't do it, you will be in a much bad shape. Okay, you're just letting go of that advantage that you have to you right now.
Sir,
So,
sorry to interrupt, but that's not a hassle, right? To do the IR check for
no, it's not a
ACA.
hassle at all. Yeah,
I mean, it's just a
Mayank,
few
it's
days
not a
work.
hassle. Everything is money. Everything is money. You send an email or you call up FSTC. I'm not. I'm not publicizing or campaigning for FSTC. I mean, to any institute which provides and is DGC approved. You go there. You tell them, okay, boss, my IR is expiring on so and so date. I wanted to, just renew it. They'll tell you, okay, these are the dates. You kindly make the payment. Once your payment is done, we will give you a slot. You can come on so and so day. You go there, you fly your simulator for 4 hours, a CF40, CF40, yeah, CF40, sorry, CF41, CF41 IR PPC form will be filled up. Once you're done, your PPC is current. You go come back and upload these SIM details on the EGCA. It's current.
So it's just
So
the
it's
IR. So it's just the IR check. No, it's not gonna be more ground school kind of thing, right?
See, they may want to sell that ground school thing to you. Technically, you are supposed to have a ground training also. Okay, every year, once a year, it is a law of the land. So they may, I think they see. I have not done it because ever since the last 18 years, because I got my job, there were around close to around 2 decades back. So things were a bit different. Uh, now, so I've never done a ground school in which I had to pay out of my pocket. So I'm not too sure about it, but yes, it is a requirement. So if you go there and FSTC insists that your IR can only be renewed once your ground training is also current. And since your ground training last was done in so and so year or maybe a year back, you are required to undergo it, and we have classes available. So you will have to take those classes then as well.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Okay.
So, but yeah, but everything uh, for you is just a call, just an email, because everyone is looking for money. So, आप दो उनको, you pay them whatever the fees is, and you have your IR current, your LR current, and your ground certificates current. See, there are many other tertiary classes. Like there is a class called AVSEC, Aviation Security. Then there is something called as DGR, Dangerous Goods. Then there is something called as ADSB out, RVSM, RNP. Now, all these classes technically are not mandatory for you to keep your license current. These classes would generally be conducted by an organization where you get hired, okay? Because their utility is at a later stage. Right now, for you, prima facie, what's important is for you to keep your license current. So, for you to keep your license current, definitely your IR and your LR LR is to be done once in 6 months. IR is to be done once in 12 months. These two things are a must. You have to do them. There are no two ways about it. And also the ground school, the technical and the performance refresher. See, when you would have done your type rating from wherever you did it, Vietnam and all, they would have given you some sort of ground classes, maybe through CBT, maybe through some other thing. They are still designated as ground classes. So technically, you have done ground classes. There would never be a type rating course DGC approved across the world where you don't get to do any ground classes and you are just simply taken directly into the sim. It doesn't work that way. Now that's a different thing. Whether how much of it did you learn? That is argue. That can be argued upon. The ground classes were just for name's sake. They really didn't teach much. Fine, I agree. but they were still ground classes. So same, if you go to FSCC, they'll also conduct your ground classes. It is no doubt. Okay,
Okay.
so yeah, so type-rated guys, please be careful. You have to keep them current. Other things which are regulatory in nature and they need to be current and is your headache till the time you get a job are quite obvious. Most of us are already aware are your logbooks, FRTL, RTR, ELP, okay, the class one medical. Uh, yeah, so these all things, just make sure. Don't be, don't be a lame duck sitting at home, not knowing the validities of your licenses on your certificates. It's on you. Then, apart from this, Gen Zs nowadays leveraging, you need to leverage additional skills to stand out. Okay, so there was a time when CPL alone was enough. That was during my time. No type rating, nothing. Type rating would be done by the airlines who are going to be hiring you. During my time, we had these airlines, Deccan and Kingfisher as well. I don't know if you've heard them. Kingfisher used to be an airline also. It's not just a beer brand. Okay, it's not just an alcohol brand. There was an airline as well. So there was a time when these airlines were used to recruit people walk in. Imagine, okay, just try and put things in perspective. If you are a CPL trained guy, let's say I decide to do my CPL, be it in India or America, Canada, New Zealand, South Africa. I go there 6 months, 8 months. I come back. I have my license. I could have simply walked into the offices of Kingfisher, Deccan, and Jet Airways at that point in time. Simply walk in because the Indian aviation market was booming. This was back in 2000. The boom started from three and four, and then it went up to 2008. So those 4 5 years were crazy. The airlines needed pilots left and center, and nobody knew about CPL. This field was new altogether. Everyone wanted to be engineer or medical. Nobody knew about this field. Okay, so imagine you just walk into a mall, store, and buy something. Getting a job was that easy in those years. Now it is completely changed. So there was a time when CPL alone was enough. After 2008 recession, then there was a lull in the market until 2011 and 12. 12 onwards, slowly, SpiceJet, Goair, Air India started recruiting people again. Then from 2012 onwards, there was a time when the value of type rating was at its peak. So if you're just a CPL holder, you really don't have too much of a weightage. But if you're a type rated guy, then you are the sort of the guys. Okay, so type rated O, they would have a special vacancy announced, type rated, damn, and you get in. Now there are so many guys who have done their type rating as well. The demand is very limited and the supply is overflowing. So now you need to do something more. So what is that something more is, you need to, the airlines today, they appreciate pilots who show a certain quality. It could be leadership, communication, communication skills, like the way I'm talking to you all, right? With rightly paced statements, the right amount of words per minute. What do you call it? You call this as a rate of speech. There is a certain sense of confidence in the way you're talking, uh, and you know these communication skills. Are you able to put your point across in a very crisp way? Uh, because if I'm clear in my mind, then only I can communicate with the other person with the same clarity. Otherwise, if there is a sense of cloud in my own thinking, there is no way that I can make you, I can convince you to be in agreement with me. Okay, so there's a certain communication skill, leadership skills. Now, how do the interviewers find out your leadership skill? They generally ask you, okay, any prominent leadership moment in your life that you remember from your school days or college days or flying school days that you would like to share with us. Okay. So we at Airship also provide this interview specific training where we teach all these non-technical issues. But yes, this is just to tell you that it's important to be ready with a few examples in your mind if somebody asks you, okay, how would you qualify your leadership skills? What is different in you than the candidate who walked into this room before you? Why should we hire you and not him? They will generally try and trap you in these questions. So you need to be ready. Okay, what is so special about you? Any leadership skills, communication skills, your CRM awareness. Now, CRM is a very hot topic. There is so much which you can find on the internet. What is a CRM? Crew resource management in aviation. There are different jargons, there are abbreviations, which so if you are well versed with the concept of CRM, because it's not a Cessna 152 or a 172 where once you are solo released, you can just simply shout prop clear and then mixture rich and start the engines and push off. Okay, these aircrafts, the ones that you are aiming to be in, are all multi-crew cockpit, MCC, multi-crew cockpit. Okay, there are two seats, but there are always one or two seats on the backside as well, because it could be a three cockpit crew, it could be a four cockpit crew. It depends. So when there is more than one person in the cockpit, CRM becomes very important. You cannot say, boss, today the flight's gonna be my way or the highway. There is no concept of my way or the highway. That is why you have procedures. That is why you have SOPs. You do your job, I do my job. My job, our jobs are defined as per our seat. There is something Airbus calls it CM1, CM2, cockpit manager one, cockpit manager two. Boeing calls it captain and first officer. As per Boeing, the guy who sits on the left seat is the captain, the guy who sits on the right seat is the first officer. So these are seat specific roles. There is a reason why they defined it as per seats, so that there is no CRM issue. Okay. So captain does his job, first officer does his job. And as long as you're doing your job without interfering each other's, this is considered as a positive CRM. Okay, then there are many valuable optional courses which you guys can do it. They don't really cost much. Uh, would be a good course to mention on your resume, and tomorrow when you go for an interview, it'll send across an impression that you are not someone who simply wasted his time while you were still looking for a job. You utilize your time in doing something. So what are these courses? I'm not sure about who conducts these courses, but if you just try and find out on the internet, you'll see a lot of them. Something like particular dispatch courses, airline dispatcher course. So uh, the airlines may not be in a real need of pilots, let's say, for a few months or years, but there is no harm in doing these dispatcher courses. It is only going to enhance your knowledge about CPL. They really don't cost much, and you, as a secondary backup, have a you know you still have a shot of at least getting a dispatcher job, let's say in a Akasa or a Indigo or a Air India. Keep doing that dispatcher job. As and when the airlines come up with CPL vacancies, you can in-house, internally as an employee, apply for those vacancies and still get a job. So, you can do these dispatch courses, you can do these CRM certificate courses, which are provided by IATA, IATA. You can do these safety courses, safety management system, SMS courses. Now, all these concepts, I'm not going deeper into them. These certificate courses are available at a fee. Uh, if any one of you wishes to do it, please do them through IATA, IATA. Okay, so you simply type in IATA SMS course. You will see it. There'll be a fee reflecting over there, and you can do it. And you don't have to go anywhere. This is just an online mode. However, it will significantly enhance your knowledge about what the safety mechanism is in an airline, in an organization. How do you do a flight dispatch? What is a flight planning? How do you file it with the ATS units? And there are multiple courses. There are courses uh, on emergency response. Okay, so let's say if there's a crash ever somewhere, you being a part of emergency response, how would you deploy yourself? How would you conduct yourself? There are courses on DGR. What is a dangerous good? There are different types of dangerous goods and the procedures associated. So there are multiple courses. The idea and the intent behind doing them during your lull time is ki, boss, whenever tomorrow the vacancies come in and you are sitting in that interview panel in front of that interview panel, if they ask you, okay, so Ayan, what could you tell us how do you spend your time last 1 year? Trust me, it is going to give you such a great amount of confidence mentioning about these course certificates. And I've been interview panels myself. I can tell you, as an interviewer, it sends across a great sense of I would say a sense of interest that I see in a candidate. Ki, okay, the guy has been at home for the last 1.5 years, and he has ended up doing these 2 to 3 courses every 2 to 3 months. He would end up doing one course. So that means he has ensured, he's motivated enough to not let this sense of anxiety overpower him. He has been reasonably uh, he's a right-minded guy, motivated enough, kept on doing certificates. This is exactly what we are looking for. If the guy is right-minded, his CRM skills are also going to be higher. So this is how you can differentiate yourself. If you're sitting at home, don't just sit idle. Do something. It could be something as small as working as a ground instructor, teaching an air navigation subject in one of the institutes in Ramphal. Even that would add up to add in your resume. But the intent is just don't, stay idle, sit at home, and just keep scrolling the Instagram stories. That's not going to give you anything. Do something. All right. So now next, what are the common mistakes? Please don't fake your hours. Okay. It is not prevalent nowadays, but there was a time a lot of our colleagues they were generally not fly as much, but they would have flown 100 hours and the requirement because was of 200 hours and they ended up showing 200 hours. Previously, it was very prevalent in flying schools in India, but to say so, don't please fake your hours. Don't misrepresent your qualifications. In the sense, don't write something in your resume for the sake of writing. Okay, these non-technical rounds in the interview, this HR person who has a copy of your resume, especially in Indigo and Air India, and the psychologist who's sitting over there, इनका job ही ये है that if you mention that I've done SML, if you use some fancy word, I've done the safety risk assessment course from IITA, they'll get into it because those guys know what is a safety risk assessment. The senior captain who's sitting over there knows what is a safety risk. I know what is a safety risk. If I ask you, okay, please explain the matrix to me. Now you guys don't know what is the matrix. So okay, so please be very watchful of what you're mentioning in your resume. So uh, don't misrepresent your qualifications. Then don't walk into the HR rounds without preparation. Uh, and yeah, so these are the few things, guys, that I wanted to say that CPL typewriting plus something. Now that's something what all can be there in that something. I think I've covered in detail. So with that, I think it's the end of this small pep talk. Now it's your turn. Let's share your questions if there are any. And please don't limit yourself to just questions on a small pep talk over here. It could be anything. Yeah, I understand. I've been in the same stage, so I understand the anxiety. Okay, so now I'm just gonna be quiet, and whoever has any questions, please raise your hands, as in on the application, and then I'll call out your name. Okay, so it looks like nobody has any questions. That's fine.
Sir, I
Yeah,
do.
Bharat.
Hi. So I'm sorry, in the beginning I wasn't able to respond to the introduction. I had some network
That's
issues.
it's not an issue. Please, you can go ahead with the introduction right now.
Yeah, so basically I am not even a CPL holder. I am yet to begin my flying. Just finished my papers and awaiting to fly, possibly beginning the next month.
Okay.
And what are the things that you would recommend me to do? Like, because basically I have an idea to not do type rating as what we've
Okay.
discussed. But
Mhm.
looks like type rating is one of the major requirements that the airlines look up to these days. So I just wanted your insights when I finish my CPL in like 2 years from now.
Okay, but so where are you planning to do your CPL from?
India.
Uh, well, you can do it from anywhere. That's your call. And I think largely the quality is largely the same. The only differentiator, if at all there's any, would be in terms of timelines. If you do it from outside India, mainly US and Canada, you may end up doing your flying a few weeks or maybe a few months earlier. And in India, it may take those many months more. So I think that's the primary difference. Apart from that, that's largely fine. Second is you said that once you've done your CPL type rating or not to be done. Well, in your case, to be honest, right now you are about at least an year to a year and a half away to to worry about type rating. So I think right now it would be a bit far-fetched. You can probably take a call on it about an year and a half later, because then a lot will change in about an year or a year and a half. But largely, from my experience, Indigo has placed more than 500 aircraft order. Okay, the latest one being this year itself in Paris Air Show. Uh, In addition to that, they've placed 30 firm orders for wide bodies, 350s, and with 70 purchase rights. This is just Indigo alone. Akasa has got around more than 100 or 150 737 MAX orders. Air India has got around more than, again, 500, more than 500 aircraft orders, a mix of both wide bodies and narrow bodies. And all these, so basically, Indian aviation market itself has ordered more than 11, 12, more than 12 to 1300 aircrafts, which naturally would be delivered over the next decade. It's not going to happen in just a matter of 1 or 2 years. You need infrastructure also, no? You won't be having 1100 aircrafts coming in by 2027. Where would you park them? The airport infrastructure is not at par at, let's say, the US. So it's all going to come over the next decade, which means the airlines are going to receive these aircrafts at a regular pace. There will be few months in which they will receive 4 to 5 aircrafts per month. Then there will be few months in which they'll receive, let's say, one aircraft in a month. So, which means your CPL as an industry is not going to see any downturn or a recession for the next few years. So, anyone who wants to join in, it's a good time to join in. Yeah, so, you can do your CPL. Should you be doing a type rating or not? Just wait it out. Let's just first finish your CPL and then you can take a call. As of today, type rating definitely gives you an edge. Just a CPL alone, that era is gone. That's long gone. Indigo has come out last year with CPL holders only non-type rated vacancies, but trust me, these are just one of those very you know uh, once in a blue moon kind of vacancies. It's not going to be a regular feature. So you should definitely be considering doing some type rating. Which one? Take a call later. I think you're still far away.
Right. Totally understandable. And thank you so much for answering the query.
Yeah, my God. Yes, man.
So my question is that looking at today's scenario, I mean, I'm type rated and waiting for it. I'm also teaching people for free type rating, freelancing kind of stuff. But sir, is
Hmm.
there any upcoming vacancy that you know about? Like if there's any about Air India, because I know that Air India came up with the vacancy in April 2023 last time for A320. So
Yes.
anything about this?
Yeah, see, I've been hearing of Indigo may just come out with vacancies. They are probably sitting on that pilot just around the corner. It's just a matter of getting announced. Once Indigo does it, Air India 100% will be chasing it. So Air India, so let's say if Indigo announces it by the first week of June, there's no way that Air India can hold back by more than a month. So, uh, the answer to your question, do I know it for sure? No, I don't. I think nobody does. It's just the HR of that particular organization. But you can only take a very calculated, anticipated, you can only approximate the chances of something happening. So the chances of something happening this time around are very high. And it's only high because, like I said, 80 of their Pratt& and Whitney aircrafts have started to come back into their system. This, in addition with the fact that from 1st of July, the DTL is going to be way more restrictive for the airlines. It's going to be very relaxed for the pilots. It's going to be more restrictive for the airlines. So now these two things, when they add up together, you can only look at one outcome, which is you need more pilots. So it's just a matter of when. Uh, it's in fact, more than when, it's a matter of how many. When is kind of a dumb thing. The vacancies will come. It'll just probably in a month, 2 month, worst case scenario, 3 months. 100% they will announce. So just all of you get back to your books, CPL holders, 320 guys, enroll yourself wherever you wish to, and just move on. Uh, Not move on like away, but just get into your books. The vacancies are around the corner because the way it's adding up, I don't see any other way for it to go.
But sir, is it still possible that Indigo might come up with another vacancy if there's past vacancy is still going on? The previous one is
Yeah, why not? Why not? See, it's all projection, no? Uh, let's say if today they have 100 TFOs already selected and waiting to be trained or waiting to start their training. Nobody is sitting with a number of 5 to 600 guys in the pipeline waiting to be trained. It doesn't happen like that. It's just probably 100, 150. If they want, they can get done with them in a matter of 6 months. So the projection of future vacancies is not dependent on their uh, you know, previous vacancies. So previous vacancy, like some of you who have already cleared 2 rounds and are waiting for the subsequent 2 rounds. So the day they come out with a vacancy, they'll start your rounds also. They'll immediately call you. Okay, next your GD date is so and so. Okay, and your GD is done. Okay, then after 1 week you'll have your PI. So they'll all start together. And I can for sure I can see that happening. Just a matter of 2 months.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much.
All right. Yes,
So,
Alizio.
Sir, uh, that point about the SMS training and the other certification really resounded with me. It's a very fresh take, so really thank you for that. I'm going to look into it and pursue that. My question
Mhm.
was about usually what I've heard from some of my peers, the CPL vacancy being the non-type-rated CPL vacancy being rather on the easier side than the type-rated vacancy. Is there any matter or concreteness to that?
No, I couldn't understand when you say that it's considered to be on the easier side. I think easier
The
how
like
you.
easier, basically the what I've heard is that
No, no, easier in the sense of
the written paper would be easier. The
okay.
PI would they won't stress you that much in the PI.
No, no, no. I won't quantify it as easier or hard comparatively. I would say even, in fact, the guys who are 320 type rated, in fact, they found the 320 written examination a lot easier because the number of CPL related questions were far too less. So they were comfortable answering about 320s and not CPL.
Yes,
So
sir.
I think it's the I, so I think it's the way you look at it. So if you ask a 320 type rated guy, he'll say, "Boss, I don't want to have any CPL questions whatsoever. I'm more than happy answering 320." Okay. So if you ask a CPL guy, well, maybe the CPL version is what you reflected right now, that the CPL question is easier. So I don't think I've not heard of it. Plus, I wouldn't put it that way. I think it's reasonably challenging and rightfully challenging. It forces you to study. So, you know, I wouldn't want you to have a perception based on what you express and then take a call for yourself. Don't. So, let's say if you are under the belief CPL is slightly easier, so let me not go and do any typewriting. Let me just hang around being a CPL guy. Uh, don't take that decision because one thing for sure I can tell you, the CPL vacancies are only going to reduce, and there will be a time when there won't be any CPL vacancies at all. It'll mainly be type rated, and these major airlines like Air India, Akasa, not so much right now, but Air India and Indigo definitely yes. They have already started to move towards something called as a cadet pilot program. So what is a cadet pilot program is they'll hire a guy who's just finished his senior school in Mumbai after 10th only you call, no, that, what do you call it? College, right? In Delhi, it's 11th and 12th. So the moment you're out of class 12th, you will be directly selected. I mean, based on a sort of a selection. It'll be a 12th based English, maths exam, profit and loss, percentage, permutation, combination, probability, questions on these topics, a bit of questionnaire on English and general knowledge. And then once you are inducted by that organization, everything right from your class 2 medical to your computer number to your class 1 to your exams to your flying to your type rating and then subsequently which fleet you will be getting is all taken care by that organization. That is called a cadet pilot program. So Indigo has already moved towards it. Air India has also moved towards. I'm sure some of you would be having your colleagues who would have gotten into the cadet pilot programs in Indigo and Air India. Akasa subsequently will also move. 10 years down the line, all these uh, most of the pilots recruited in Indian environment will all be through cadet pilots. So there is no way CPL vacancies तो कोई chance ही नहीं है. It's just right now they are coming out, one odd vacancy in 6 months. Subsequently, this thing is gonna shut shop.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. So I had another question. I'm very keen on doing my type rating. I am. Right now, would you say is the correct time to go? Because I'm planning on going in a month. I don't know exactly where, but I'm still to receive my license. I've given it for, I've got my challan, so I've not applied anywhere. So
Okay.
decision hasn't been made yet. I don't want to miss out on a vacancy or etc. etc. Sir.
Uh, Alizio, this is gonna be up. pill. It's a pill which you'll have to swallow. Then everything else is to the destiny. Largely, anyone who's taken this type rating pill, it's not been sour. It's not been sour for them for a very long time. I mean, rhetorically, s- uh, I mean, practically speaking, what I'm trying to say is sooner than later, you will be in a situation where you will be forced to go and do a type rating. Because you will see it for yourself that largely you don't stand a chance as a CPL holder in a market which is filled with type rating guys, especially the airlines when they prefer recruiting type rating guys. See, understand, as an airline, I don't have to shell another another bunch of lakhs of rupees on you to train you when I can find in that same pool a guy who's already trained. So I'm saving that money, right? So eventually you will have to do it. Now, should you be doing it in the next month? Should you be doing it in the 6 months? I think it really doesn't matter because this time frame is far too less. I might as well do something today and then wait it out, keep studying, just like many others in the market. There are so many guys who have gotten a job in the last 2.5 years. Right now, there is a lull, but this lull is going to get over. I'm quite convinced. 1st July, the new DTL comes in. Indigo's Pratt& and Whitney aircraft have started to come back, and they have not been inducting in the last 6 to 8 months. I think they would have already trained all their trainee backlog largely by now. So the vacancies are just around the corner. So a short answer, if you want to go somewhere, maybe another month or 2 months is actually not a bad time for you to leave. So you can actively consider that. Which aircraft? 737s or
A320, sir.
320s? 320s, I mean, either if you're very convinced with a certain type of aircraft, that's absolutely fine. If you were to ask me, I would say in today's scenario, both of them are equally good. Had you
Oh,
asked me the same question about 1 year back, I would have said eyes closed, go for Airbus because there was no market for Boeing at that point in time. Now there's a market for Boeing as well. Akasa is there, Express is there. So that is your call for which aircraft you wish to go.
okay, sir. Thank you, sir. That was really helpful.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
All right, guys. So
So
yes, I am.
I would like to ask, like, even after we get hired in an airline, how much waiting time should we expect? Like, even those hired in 2024 have not yet been inducted in the airline.
Again, yeah, these questions are all related to each other. See, uh, you know, an average time for a person to be trained and released once you're inducted by an organization would be around 1 year, average time. Now, this average time is not just for Air India or Indigo, it's an industry average. You could be in a batch in a time where the organization really checks you out and uh, releases you online by, let's say, 8 months. Then there would be some days, there would be some months, there would be some batches which may take up to 1 year and 3 months. So on an average, it's about a yearly affair. So from the day you get in. But why should that worry you at all? I think your concern should be, boss, let me just get in somewhere, yeah. Then I'm sorted. I'll just sit at home, aram say whenever they call me for whatever training, I'll go.
I mean, like, in the meantime, if I'm looking for the other option, so that's why I was asking that.
Please look. I would just not discourage you from doing that. Please continuously keep looking for whatever options, including the instructional options. Let's say a flight instructor, deputy instructor, and assistant flight instructor in XYZ school in any part of India or outside. Please go. There's no harm. With every flight that you're doing, you're only gaining very precious hourly experience for yourself. And at the same time, you're also getting paid, which can offset few of your expenses. So why should you not do it? Just go. The only thing is you probably would be bound by a contract. You can always talk it out, no? Later. Yeah, I've got a job offer. I'm just gonna go. Worst case scenario, just violate the bloody contract and exit, yeah. Yeah, you may end up paying a few lakhs. De dena. But don't sit at home.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. All right, guys. So if no questions, thank you so much for joining in, and I wish you all the best. Looking forward in airship here. Uh, we have our classes which are running at the moment for CPL holders towards airline preparation. The classes have already begun. However, there's no cause of worry because all our classes are recorded online on a platform, Airship. I'll just take 2 minutes. I'll just request you all to be here for 2 minutes. I'll quickly run you through as to what our platform is so that you can just see it. Barely 2 to 3 minutes, and then we can wind this up. So I'm just going to be sharing my screen. please let me know once you see it on your screen. Someone can just confirm. Okay, can you see it now?
Yes, sir, we can.
All right. So, guys, this is our website here, Airship Aviation. So, here, you know, I'll just show you that how can you actually look or watch the recorded sessions. So, once you are associated with us, you'll all have your individual username and password, and whatever courses that you're subscribed. So, here in Airship, we run quite a few of them. So, like, we have a dedicated mock test series for Indigo exam, Air India Express, Air India. Then we got A320 Technical Airline Preparatory Mock Test Series. These are the classes. So let's say, just for the sake of explaining, I'll just go over here, CPL Preparatory Classes. So what you see on your screen are the classes which were conducted previously. Okay, these are all the recorded classes of the previous sessions. The recordings are also available of the current session which are ongoing. And how do they look? Is let's say if you just follow the cursor with me here, you'll see that this was the introductory class. Then you got different topics: atmosphere, Earth and solar system, temperature, humidity. And these are all 1 hour 15 minutes, 1 hour 29 minutes, 1 hour 3 minutes, all recorded. Now, these were all the classes, then subsequently followed by 2 mock tests. And then we have the uh, technical classes and the different topics of technical: basics of aerodynamics, 1 and 2, principles of flight control, propeller, jet engine, again followed by mock tests. Similarly, we have regulation, general navigation, all these subjects are covered. Radio navigation, CPL study material. Now, this is a study material. So, these are all the PDFs available. So, let's say I'll open the first one regarding atmosphere. Okay, so there are 10 pages. So, whatever that you would have with all the colorful graphics that you see with explanation, everything is available for you to come and refer through our website. Okay, day-to-day physics. Okay, so this is what our website provides. Mainly, what it provides is the flexibility for you. So let's say if some of you are working somewhere right now, 9 to 5, and cannot really attend the classes at a given time, then you need not worry. You can always come back home, freshen up, log on to the website, go to your account, select the class which was recorded, which you were not able to attend initially. You can pace it, you can increase the pace to 1.5 times, twice the speed, pause it, the content is available, make your own notes. And in the subsequent class, you can always ask questions. Okay. So this is what we offer here at Airship. We've successfully run 6 batches from the last 1.5 years, primarily the Indigo type rated and non-type rated batches, in which we have got more than about 95% success rate. Many of the kids from our batch are also in the same state where some of you are waiting, right? That they have not called after September and subsequently. So please, we look forward to some of you joining us in Airship. And please feel free to get in touch with our team if there are any doubts with respect to the batches and the pricing. Okay, so with that, that's the end of the webinar today. And if there's any other question, I can take it. If not, thank you so much for joining in.